Hi, it's Lil from Made by Marley. Welcome back to our channel. I'm a furniture artist and today I am going to be making over a white plain clock into an ooh la la whimsical piece of furniture art. Okay, so this is the clock. It's not an old clock. It's actually has been made in. There's a really lovely shop in one of the local towns that makes furniture, and this is an actual clock from that shop that somebody was selling on Facebook Marketplace. I probably paid a little bit more for it than I should, but I'll probably make my money back because there's not as much real estate for materials, but also clocks sell well. So what is it about? It's got this handle's coming off in a minute. It's so questionable. It's got shelving in here. It's a battery powered clock, so that's all good. It's got the wee shelving inside, and first thing I'm going to do is take this ugly handle off, which kind of ruins it. I mean, I get it. They've gone for that sort of incredibly plain sort of aesthetic, and you know, these are not my sort of.
Let's get a close up of that lovely handle
there. Ooh, what I could do is I'll just paint this. I mean, it's not even, it's plastic, and that's plastic as well, which just, in fact, oh look,
it's blue tacked on.
Aha! Don't you love Facebook Marketplace finds? Isn't that? Yeah, there you go then. Yeah. Get all sorts. Anyway, that's a bit of fun for the beginning of the video. Right, okay, so what's my plan today? It's going to be a little bit sort of, what will we say? What's the sort of genre? Whimsical. I think we're talking whimsical. So you need to think about all your whimsical elements. How did I come up with this idea? Because I saw a woman and I thought I would like that woman to have on here. So I've got a woman and she's kind of vintage. I'll show you her.
Victorian.
She's Victorian, vintagey kind of, but I just loved all the colours. So this is her. I've printed her out in 2 halves. I mean, this will be available for our channel members if they want to do this, but it's a 2-half one, this one. And yeah, I mean, you're probably going to see it better when I pop her up on there. So what I'm probably going to do right now is I'm just going to rip her up and get her on. Why am I ripping today? I'm not fussy cutting because I want to blend that white into the background. So ripping is going to give us the right way to kind of stick her on. So you don't need to be too, you know, when you're ripping Made by Marley decoupage paper, you don't need to be too, you know, gentle. I mean, it's more robust than tissue paper. So you know, you can really kind of, you can let rip. Just don't do what I do. Sometimes, I mean, you've seen my videos, sometimes I get very excited and before you know it, I've ripped the legs or the head off something. Try and keep that intact. So I think this is going to be a really fun one. I saw it and I said to Martin, oh, but the lady who was selling this was actually, she was selling a number of things from the same shop. There was a ginormous mirror. There wasn't much real estate on it for me to do anything with it. What else, man? It was a set of drawers.
A set of drawers, yeah. But
it was, she wanted quite a bit of money for all of this because obviously as a local kind of shop, you kind of have a rough idea how much you probably paid for it in the beginning. So I was a bit like, I don't want the rest of that. I mean, I can pick up drawers for free. So I was like, I'm not doing that. But
so she did the usual and left it to me.
So I made Martin barter for it. She wanted an astronomical price for it in the beginning. And I was like, I'm not paying that. And then, so I said to Martin, no. And then he said, what about, I went, no, I won't take any less than, because when you're doing furniture art and you're making a business, you've got to remember this is all, this all cuts into your sort of profits. You've got to remember and add that on at the end. You know, if you've not got,
on the floor there.
What are you looking for?
I thought you were looking for your glasses.
No, I wasn't. I was picking up the, let's just keep him right. He's always good at doing that. Right, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's unsolicited, but never mind. It's not warranted, but you know, I just go on.
I know the feeling. I know what I'm doing.
I think he's having a little bit of a, I think he's having a little bit of a dig.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Oh, you cheeky thing. Right, okay, so because I am putting both edges together and making this one, this is the part you have to be pretty precise at. But don't worry if you're not, because you can always blend it. You're going to have to do a little bit of blending on that anyway. So what you do is you cut your two edges that is going to put your little lady together, like so. Now, what do you do if you don't have a lady? Right, well, you can use a poster. Just kind of sand your edges of your poster because your poster will be thicker. What else could you do? You can use a transfer. There's a lot of lovely transfers out there that you could use. You could use stamps to make your focal part in the middle. Some stencils, I mean, you get some really cool stencils if you have a look around. You could do something like that. Or maybe you're a skill set where you want to do a bit of hand painting. So, you know, each to their own. But you can definitely create this look with some sort of focal image. It doesn't even need to be the sort of image I'm doing. Just as long as you get some inspo and you finish the video and you go, oh, that's great. I think I've got an idea. That's what this is all about. Ideas, inspiration, getting you thinking about what you could do. Doesn't need to be like mine. Just, you know, getting you doing it is better than nothing, right? So I've ripped that out. Better make sure I don't rip her feet off. Okay, positioning. Let's just have a wee look at this. Hang on a minute. And I've got a heated body warmer now. If the red light's on, I'm cooking. If it's off, I've got it off. Right, okay. So it is cold in Scotland. Now I understand a bit of an umbrella is going to go around here. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that. That isn't going to be the end of the world. Let's just get a little bit of yellow tape here. Now be careful. You need to use tape that is for delicate surfaces. If not, even though this is for delicate surfaces, if you just put it on your trousers or your jeans or your jumper for a minute just to get rid of as much tack as you can, because I'm just wanting to kind of get this sort of the way I want it. So I'm thinking about here. Let's just see if the rest of her fits in down here. Oh, plenty of space, plenty of space. Right, I think I'm going to move her a wee bit down. I'll do this one, I think. This is the problem with me. I really need to make sure she's reasonably straight from the beginning, because that'll really ruin the look. Stick a bit there on. Bring this down. She's going to go about there. Yes, indeed. Yeah. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Martin, what are you saying?
Yeah.
You going green for gold, Lel? Right, okay, so I've got a nice smooth brush because I want nice smooth application on my Mod Podge. I'm going to remove this just for a minute while I put the glue up the top. Now, I've told you, I've shown you, well, let's just go through it for the new year. For those that are new to Made by Marley Decoupage paper, you need to put your glue on, smooth it out. You don't want big runs of glue because that will give you wrinkles and bubbles and all the things that you just don't want in your decoupage. Now, I know that this goes over my cut line. It's, you know, I'm going to have to cut it where the seam of the cupboard door opens, but that's okay. I just need to make sure that I've got plenty of glue. It doesn't matter if you go over. You're better going over than not enough, because I know there's not much that goes. Make sure you're getting down in the seam, because we're going to have to do a wee bit of folding up into that seam. Right, I think I am pretty happy with that. Now, so that I get the sort of right positioning, let's just pop the top half on here just now and then whip that paper from downstairs away. So let's just take that away now. Make sure she's reasonably straight and smooth. Round here, and round here. I'm going to get a soft cloth in a minute. Here, in this edge here, in the cut here, and I'm going to have her going right round the corner. Plenty of glue. I'm just going to put...
Oh, sorry, I just apologise again. I did that thing again. where I was watching you and not watching the camera, and I veered away slightly.
I watch our videos. I don't watch them very often, but when I do, I giggle because I think Martin's obviously got engrossed in what I'm doing. He's not even filming what I'm doing at that precise moment, but it always makes me laugh. Right, okay, I can see there's a few wrinkles in this, but remember what I said about wrinkles. They will go down. You just need to give them a minute. Well, now, I haven't got a soft cloth, so I'm just going to use my sleeve right now.
Let me get you one.
No, this is fine, Martin. It's different when it's a smaller area like here. You know, it's different, but always pay attention to faces. You don't want to finish up. Now, I am going to distress this at the end and kind of sand her, so because I want her to have a kind of worn look, but we'll go forth like this just now. Now, I'm not going to make you, I don't think, watch me do the bottom half. Well, I'm going to have to because I want to keep the momentum going. Now, you see where I've gone slightly over that ridge? If you're putting two pieces of decoupage paper together, I can see there's a little bit of a lift there. If you're putting two pieces together, now see, can you see this, that runny glue there? That is a big no. So you've got to grab it and smooth it and smooth it and smooth it and smooth it because it has to be smooth. Oh, I think there's a bit of green paint on there. Now, making sure it's all lovely and smooth and there's no great big bits and it's all got glue. If you don't have glue on a surface, and I know I keep repeating myself all the time, all that'll do is give you a bubble because there's nothing for it to stick to. Remove that tiny little bit of tape and let's see if I can get her looking pretty much where I want her to be. Plenty of glue here so that I can get it into all of these little wiggly joins. Bring some glue over the top of that. Just make sure that's glued down this edge here. Smooth that down and into this join here. And I can see that there's a little bit lift on this top part. Whether there was glue there or not, I don't know. Don't really need that white bit of paper, so I'll probably just end up cutting that off a minute when it's dry. Now, you have to be kind of careful with this join. I would just put a little bit of Mod Podge over it and then just leave it. We'll blend it to make it look less joiny near the end, but or as we get on to the project. But right now, right, okay, now I am pretty happy with how that's gone on. I don't think there's anything offensive about it. Any bubbles that come up will go back down. So I'm going to leave her alone right now. Just leave her alone. See a little bit glue here. I'll check it off camera, but you just need to make sure that it's all nice and glued. A little bit of Mod Podge never helps. It never goes wrong when you are going to be blending up to it, I don't think. So if you want to go around your edges and put a little bit more Mod Podge onto that, you can. But I'm going to stop fiddling around with it now because I'll just rub wrinkles into it if I don't stop messing around with it. Right, okay, colours. Got a tub here. I'm just going to start with a sort of basic colour. We can, we'll be putting a few other colours on it. Obviously, I'm wanting a mustard. I'm going to get some flowers next when I get to once it's been painted and things. But I've got yellow Annie Sloan chalk paint, Tilting it's called. And what I'm going to add to it is a little bit of this purple, which is an acrylic purple. And yes, you can add acrylics to paint. There's no problem with that. Just don't do too much of it because then you're... Where's my brush? Looking for a study thing. Here's one up here. I'll just grab one. Now then. Let's have a look. Somebody asked me recently why I was adding purple to my yellow. It's just to make it more mustardy. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. And I think I could do with a little bit more. I'm obviously going to be wanting a sort of jade green as well at some point. So I want it quite, what's the word? As I said, I'm going to distress her a bit later on. So I want my colours, not grungy, but, you know, I want a mustard bit. I mean, I think this is slightly brighter, but I'm happy with this to start with. Okay, now, there's not a huge amount there because I don't plan to do the whole lot. Brush. Right, so I'm going to do the whole, definitely this bit up round here. I might just do it all. Right, so, because it's going to need a few coats. So as my sort of base coat, yeah, I'm going to be using, oh, by the way, this piece was thoroughly cleaned, just in case you're thinking, you know, I didn't clean it. I did. It wasn't dirty because it came straight out of somebody's house, but still, you don't know if there's grease on it or ice. Now, this sort of stroke all over, this is what you're trying to do. And this is just a sort of base coat, really. There's going to be other paint going over the top of this, probably a little bit of maybe a blend. So I'm going to get on now because this is going to take me a hot minute. It's quite a tall clock, you know, quite big. I'm hoping that it ends up looking pretty good, but you never can tell, can you? You start with a good idea, but sometimes you go off on a tangent and then you oh. Anyway, I'll get on and do this. Okay, so I've done the stipply colour all the way up the top. This is like a sort of a canvas coat, a coat to make your paint stick. We might use some of it, we might not. It's just because it kind of helps me sort my head out. Now, how did I get around the decoupage paper? I just did this and went right up to the white. Now, don't worry about these transitions lines. These are going to get fixed as we go along. But that's all I did to get into there to make sure that there was no bits of the white paper. Why did I not fussy cut it and put it on at the end? I just wanted, sometimes it's your own personal choice. Sometimes I want things to be in the piece. Sometimes I don't mind that they're not on, they're just sitting on the outside. But for this one, I want it all to be within the piece. Right, so we've done our mustardy yellow. We've got our lady on. That's all. We're not going to worry about that now for a while. Next, what I'm going to do is I want to, looking at my paper, if you see this sort of green and this sort of light blue, but the mustard as well, I want to try and see if I can blend out. I know these are kind of not, the green and the blue will be fine, but yeah, maybe we'll see how we go. We're not kind of, so I've got a,
Amsterdam green?
yeah, Amsterdam green. I'm having brain fade, Martin. I don't want too much now. At this stage in time, water is your friend, but I do not want to be putting too much water onto my finish right now, only because it's just fresh and it is cold here in Scotland. So, so I'm going to start with the green, yeah, and then I'm going to go with the. Let's just get some. Oh, this is duck egg blue. Actually, that might just. I picked it out because it was the most like the colour, and I think actually it is. So let's just kind of start here. Now you can see this band here. This band here is fully coated. It's been given 3 coats of paint here, here, and I still have some parts up to. We're going to be doing something different on here and here. So just in case you're wondering why, I'm going to take this along here. I am going to have to get a little bit of water, whether I like it or not. Water is what makes your paint blend. And I always say you can't really blend paint without it. So let's just put a little bit. I'm just going to put it on my paint itself, not onto my work. Right, so, but I want this to be more sort of, more emerald. So I'm going to dip in the furrow here and just kind of see where that takes us. A bit more furrow, I think. It's just to get that sort of more emerald sort of colour. Now, I'm not brushy blending, I'm mingling. I know I say that a lot, but if you want to brushy blend it, do that. I just want mine to look a little bit more, I don't know, I haven't got the words, just different. Let's just get some furl on that. I think it gives it a different texture. Although both forms of blending are both blending, I think that it just gives it a sort of different, a more sort of cloudy kind of finish. Right, okay. Not going to do too much at once. I'm going to bring this down to about here before I start moving in with a different colour. I'm going to change my paintbrush today, which is something that I don't very often do. And I've got the duck egg on my palette. I'm just giving that a little scoosh because that'll be easier to mingle. Now, the easy way to get this to go to this is to go just outside it first. Like that. And then take that up into here. And you just work it until you're happy. It takes a little bit of work. I think working on the transition between the two colours works best for me first before I do anything else. Like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get a completely clean brush. So we'll say this is our neutral brush. And I'm just going to work the blue into the green and the green into the blue. I can see there's a brush here, there. These are new brushes I'm using. I've actually, new year, new me, I'm cracking out all the things that I don't use because I hoard them. So, and Martin's laughing because he knows that's true. I've had these new brushes for ages.
I was, as my kids would say, I was shook. I was shook this morning when I was like, oh, I'm going to use these brushes today. Like, those brushes that you haven't touched. No. They've been hanging there looking all new and shiny for so long.
I wanted them, this is the same mustard, I wanted them to look pretty. This is going to be a little bit of a tricksy problem, but don't worry, we'll just...
There's another brush up there.
I don't need another one, I don't want to use all my lovely brushes, it's just that they're... these are natural bristle brushes. If you're brushy blending, synthetic brushes will be better. But if you're doing this kind of mingly one, it doesn't really matter. You can do it with either or, I think. Maybe not new ones. And I'm just going to go and do the bottom section now. In the very centre, you're going to have to pick a sort of lighter tone. So I'll probably go with something like, strangely enough, Antoinette. Because there's a sort of pinky, this is sort of pink. I'm really branching out on the blending front today. Let's just see. So something in here. And then I'm just going to mingle that into here. But I need to do the rest of my dark stuff first. So I'll quickly try to pull this together on camera. Because whatever I do on this panel here, I'm going to be repeating here, 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 there and there at the top of the clock. And probably the clock face right now. And then we'll come back when I come to do this part in here. But it will be, in fact, it's just exactly the same process. I'll be starting with my green round here and going into my blue. But because there's an image in the middle, I won't be getting as far as my ochre and my pink. I knew this was happening. I thought I should take that bottom part off, but I didn't. Because I just didn't. I'll have to
distract you.
Oh, you did, Martin. You're a lovely distraction. Oh, I'm snorting. I bet that was really loud on my microphone. Yes, you're a wonderful distraction.
Yeah. My mere presence in the room.
That's it. I get my heart starts to pity patter and I get all shaky. That's it, Martin. That's exactly what happens. Yeah.
More like, what do you want?
What do you want? Hurry up. that's not true at all. We were very pleasant to one another, although he wasn't making me giddy. He said, "Do you need me now?" I said, "Yeah." He went, "I'll be 2 minutes." Then came back into the room and went in the stable and went, "Actually, I'm here now." That's how it went down. I went, "Oh, okay." You can see I'm not leaving too much of a gap because I'm okay with getting these together, really. But for simple blending, if you leave a wee gap first, it makes it a little bit easier, right? And hard to tell which one my neutral brush is now. I want a little bit of water on here just before I go forth. I'm going to use this one. My aim is to have a sort of, because there's going to be pattern over the top of this, but I just want to have, there's not a huge amount, 2 o'clock, so you really have to kind of go all in to make it look, really fancy. I think that's what I think. So now I'm going to get to my sort of ochre colour here. Oops, that's maybe a bit much paint. That's going to take forever to blend. Blue. And this is going to take me quite a while, but because I've got all the sides to do, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. Did you see there? I sprayed my brush, not my paint. I tend not to spray my furniture. I'm going to take this up a little bit here because I want the pink more central. Let's just do that again, just so that, and you can correct as you go. I mean, you just saw me going, right, that's not what I want. I want to hopefully get to a sort of, yeah, I think you can always tell when it's nearly there because you're less tappy and you're more sort of just gently kind of patting it. I don't like this bit here. Oop. I really don't like it now. As I said, I'm going to have to play with this for quite a while. Now, I do still want that little tiny pinky section in the centre. I don't know how everything's getting wet or something. I'm only putting the colours that are in the piece. And as I said, there's going to be a heck of a lot of pattern over the top of this, which means you're not going to see all of this, not all of it, what I'm currently doing. But if it makes you happy and it gives you even if you just take it as practice for blending, I think it's just something that, I'm going to go right round everything again. I'm happy with here to about here. I'm not happy with down the bottom because it's not been blended right. But I just don't want to keep, you get a bit bored if you keep on watching this, me going round and round and round and round. Right. I just don't want too nasty a transition, but I want it to look sort of cloudy, and I think I'm getting there now. What do you think, Martin?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think you will probably make more adjustments to it.
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's there and thereabouts what I'm looking for. Because I want to put something in there in the end, I think. I don't know what that's going to be right now, but I ran with the lady and went, ooh, and then I went, well, now I've got that bit formulated and I've got some other ideas, but normally I way over plan, and I thought, I just want to have fun with this, and I knew there was going to be quite a bit of blending, and I quite enjoy doing that because I don't blend very often, not really. Well, I do and I don't. Right, okay, I'm away just now because I'm just prattling on, and Martin has to do all these subtitles. Okay. Okay, so this is a big apology coming up. Obviously, something happens, and the last quite few bits of what I was doing wasn't filmed.
The whole section
is corrupted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through what I've done. There's still plenty of parts that I was going to be repeating anyway, so I can still show you. But the main part that you missed after the blending was I put some stencils on it. Now, how did I do it? On the front, I went round the where I blended it with this stencil, so you can see it here. And then I got the diamond stencil, the harlequin stencil, and I put that on, but just round the edges. Yeah, I did that there. On the sides, now...
Is this side the same as that side?
Hang on, I can just do this because I can show them every panel. On the sides, what I did was exactly the same, but the other way around. I just put this light blue one just slightly in the centre, and I put the diamonds round the edges.
Just
right,
the light blue one slightly in the centre. Show them again, because I was up the top there.
Just here and here. All these panels are exactly the same,
yeah,
and it's the same on the other side. So after that, I really don't think you missed anything really, because what I was going to...
Just the bits on the...
These bits?
Yeah.
Well, I was about to show them this anyway, so...
Okay.
So I think we're back to this sort of beginning. Once I'd done all of that, I thought, right, I want a checked pattern here. Now, how is the best way to do something like this to get them reasonably equal? I tell you what I've been using. This is one plastic backing off a Redesign by Prima transfer, but a fabric inch tape, you know, one that you could, because this surface goes like that, you see. So with a hard one, you're not going to get it in there. So if you've got something soft like that, and I just kind of roughly did it, a sort of sense, each one of these is kind of roughly a centimetre. Down here, I didn't measure it at all. I just got my black brush, which is here, and I just did a line, and kind of roughly did it. And then I've got this black line here to touch up. There's a few touches up, but I just wanted to show you. So I'm just going to show you how I went about these blue. So I've got some duck egg blue here on my palette, and I have the brush for it, which is here. Now, what sort of brushes would you say are good for things like this? These nice flat ones like this, flat-ended brushes, because you'll get it more square. I've dipped it in the water because I want my paint quite loose. And then it's just a matter of kind of getting your brush on the side and going along like this and going where your pencil line is. I just went over that there. You just have to kind of, if you do that, just adjust it.
Of course you did, because the camera's on.
Ach, I know. It's always the same. Fine when there was no camera. Although little did we know that it wasn't going to be filmed. I mean, I was too far invested in it to go, well, we'll start again, because it would mean I would have to get rid of everything and start again. And I just didn't want to. So I hope you understand that you haven't missed anything else, just that. So these little duck egg blue squares are going to go on here, like that, right up to this edge. And that will finish off these, and I'll be doing the sides on the same panel. Now, something that I realised that I didn't tell you, because you didn't know this, was where these were just yellow to begin with, I did red on this wide part. I kept this part here, the yellow, and I just took the green right up to there. On the bottom, I kept the yellow and I put the red down the bottom. The red, you probably don't know because I talked about it when I was doing the stenciling, is a burgundy that I made from Empress Silk, a little bit of Primer Red and a little bit of Frida Blue. That made that, and this is the colour here, it made this sort of burgundy colour. So that's that. Yeah, the duck egg blue is still the blue that I was using in the design. So there's been no new colours introduced apart from the black and the red that I put on the stenciling. So I still have the face to do, which I'm going to show you doing that. So you can understand I'm going to put my black line, my checks round here like this, and my black stripes round the bottom half. Don't know what I'm going to do with this bottom panel, but now we've got to the front, I want to put some decoupage on here, and I thought these sort of flowers kind of complement this part up there. So I'm going to have this on here like that, I think I'll kind of center it actually like this. So let's just get, oh, I can see some bits I've missed when I was cutting this out. Let's just get some Mod Podge, which was there a
Right
minute
behind
ago.
you.
Right behind me. Oh, there it is. And let's just get glued on. I didn't go crazy and cut all behind all of these flowers. I thought I'm just going to leave these because when it goes on here, I don't think you're going to tell. I don't think so. So I'm going to glue this down on the floor and then put it on to prevent a whole load of Mod Podge going over my furniture. I just need to get a brush, and I'm using a big smooth one. So I'm going to do all the large areas of the design first. Whoop, there's a brush stroke. I don't want a hair of a brush first, and then sweeping out to all the delicate things, like all the little parts. Now, you've seen me decoupage fussy cut stuff before, and it can furl up. As soon as you add moisture to it, it starts to curl up. So when you go to put this on and you've cut something out, just take your time. Take your time. There's no rush. It's better to have it all glued and right than not. Now, I will start with the big parts that's going to take less curling, and we know that this is the flat part at the bottom. So let's just kind of make sure this is relatively straight first before we start doing anything else. Martin, is that reasonably straight?
It looks straight to me.
No,
it's not.
No, it isn't.
It looks straight on camera.
I know,
but
it's
not in
okay.
reality.
I know. Try that again.
Yeah, that looks better. Now you're going off again.
No, I think I'm actually there. How's that?
Good enough.
Good enough. Now, all that messing around has made this edge here a little bit. Let's just do that. Get that on here. Like that. Now, then you're going up with the rest of it and go right up to your edges. We'll smooth it all out in a minute. It's better to get it down and wrinkle free as opposed to, I've just rubbed a big wrinkle into that. Isn't that typical? There we go. Now, I think this kind of complements what's happening up above, which was what I really wanted. I'm just going to get another brush for my Mod Podge here because I think there was a little bit of turquoise paint bleeding off of that. Now, you're going to have to go around all your little parts on this because you have to make sure they're all down and sticking. If you think it needs more glue, pop some more glue on it, but don't put too much on it or it'll make it wrinkly. Right, so you get the general gist of what I'm doing with this. I'm just making sure that it's all stuck down nice. And then what I'm going to do is with the side panels is I didn't want to put a vase on every single panel. That would look a bit odd, a bit weird. So I've just got a sort of other sort of vintage florals. And what I've done is I've cut some of them out because I'm just going to put a wee kind of almost a suggestion of it in. All right, okay. Now I think the best thing to do with this right now is just leave it alone until it dries off a bit. Oh, well, I don't have to worry about that, do I? Stuck to my hand. Let's see if I can just pop that back on because I quite like that little rose. There we go. Don't worry if things like that happen and something rips. Just forge on. There you go. Now, I think we're kind of happy with that. And as I said, I've got some of these, and I'll just show you maybe one. I just cut out some vintage flowers, and I just thought something like, I found this sort of jade green flower which I quite liked, and I thought let's just do something maybe like that. And I'll put some up in this panel and the panel up the top. So that's how they're going to look. So I'll glue them on off camera. Let's just flip it back down to the front again. What's next? Now, once I've done, I'm going off camera. I've got my decoupage to glue onto the sections. I've got my checks to do, my stripes to do. I want to next set up and show you me blending the clock face because I'm going to do that a little bit differently. And I was supposedly earlier in the house designing a clock face, but I forgot about it. So I'll need to revisit that. And where this red is blue and white checked, on that red section up there, it's going to be blue and white checked, although it's not been finished with its paint job yet. And I will not be putting blue and white checks up at the top red, because it's just, what it's doing is this dark red is grounding it, and the red at the top is just putting it all together. It's just making it cohesive. I don't want to mess around with that too much. And I thought this little edge along here, I thought that I would get some black. And again, I've got a reasonably flat brush. I'm not measuring it. I'm just going to do touching that up. Not a huge amount of paint on my brush. I do things you don't need too much. And I'm just going to go along and do this little edge here, black and white with a little box like that. Well, a little bit straighter. If you're not comfortable doing things like this, you can use Posca pens. So I'm going to be finishing all the bordery parts. This part here in my design, see this part here? I'm going to be doing that with the burgundy as well. So I'll just show you how that's going to look. I'm probably going to have to mix up more burgundy. So this, oh, my brush is a bit big. Oh, I'll fix that in a minute, but really I want it just in this join here. I don't want it up on the edges or anything like I've just done. So this is going to be red in here all the way around. And then we're going to work out a little bit of stenciling underneath here. Now, you can love it or hate typography on furniture, but I think I want the words ooh la la, because it makes me smile and it goes with my lady, I think. So I'm going to be putting the words ooh la la on this as well. So, but we'll come back because I still want to work out a little bit. I need a little bit of something around the transitions. And then I think I'll put my words ooh la la around this lady. That's what my plan is. So I'll go away and do all these little finishy parts that I've been telling you about. And then we'll come back. We'll blend the face. By then I'll have designed something for the face. And we'll stick ooh la la, and we'll get our stenciling done in here. Then we'll start working out shading and all the fancy schmancy bits, okay? Okay, so what I've done is I've put these little decoupage flowers on the center, and what I'm doing is I'm just using this stencil here. Now I don't have much of this yellow color left, but it's just enough to kind of just finish this off. Ooh. Round these edges here. Now I didn't do it with on the other side. On the other side I did a row along here as well, just because this is the biggest panel, and it was just to give it a little nod to the what I'd done around the center. So I'm just kind of whipping that onto there and flipping that up here. All right, there. Now, that's this side done. I'm going to turn it back onto its front. Ooh, Martin has taken the face out the clock, and I'm going to get doing that in a minute. But before, I'll just show you this side, because this side has also got that gold stenciling around it too. So that all the sides and everything are starting to come together. I've finished the blue and the burgundy checks. I've done the black and white stripes all the way around, and I've done the same up the top here. I still have the front to blend, which I'm going to do in a minute, but now we need to start tidying up this thing, lady. So how am I going to do that? I want to get the little one of these, and again I'm going to use that same, I might just have enough left on my brush. This brush has been, and I just want to bring out a little bit more sort of diamonds. Again, I'm making it look sort of distressed. like that, and just a wee bit in here, some around here. It's just a little bit because I'm wanting to put the words over here. I'm hoping, well, that's what my intention is. Right, okay. And this, I don't think I'm going to be able to, I might be able to fit maybe that there. Right, okay, so that, why did I do that? That's just going to help with the transitions, really. I've got some of this yellow on my brush here, and I've done it with the dark colours here, but I'm just going to run this along the seam edge of where that decoupage paper is, just up into the seam and rub it with my fingers. You probably take it onto that colour there. You just don't want that white edge. Whoop, should be dark. Something like that. I'll do another little bit of it off camera. So we've got this done, we've got this done, we've got this done, we've got the front face to do. So let's just have a wee look at the clock face. Martin, shall we stop and start again so that you've got better sort of positioning? Or are you?
Do it just there?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm in a good spot.
Yeah, you're in a good spot. That's fabulous. Right, I'm looking for, oh, my paints have moved. I might have to come back to this now because my paints have moved. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to glue, first of all, I'm not taking the hands off because the hand part is all glued on at the back. So I'm gonna just literally wing it as per usual. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it down here on my carpet like this. Making sure, you'll have to make sure you get right to the edges of this one because you don't, it's going to be, I'm trying to.
Excuse me.
That's okay, you're excused.
Oh, thank you.
Putting that right under. Don't want that wrinkle up there. So that's going to go like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to twirl my hands around till I get back onto this side. Like that. I didn't like those, I didn't like another time, another place. It just was kind of bothering me. So I want to just do something that's, don't want too white together. Well, that'll have to be too white together. Put more Mod Podge on this. Mod Podge. Right. Okay, I'm bringing this over here and covering up the letter in here. Right, now, next thing I want to do is I want to make this look a little bit older than it is. Just make sure that there's none of that's going to come back up when the hands start turning, because you really don't want that nonsense. Right, okay, just smooth out any wrinkles. So that's on there like that. I like that. Now, I've got a little bit of brown, and I'm just going to put a little bit of brown on my palette here. Just, you don't need much. And with this brush that had the mustard in it, I'm just going to wet it a little bit. And I'm going to take it over here at my brown. You're going to need quite a bit of water. And I have a clean cloth, which Martin gave me this morning. Now I'm going to just wipe it all over this. Now this is a bold move. I would work in small sections. And the same on this side. And pat, 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 pat again.
You need to move the hands again.
I know, Marty.
Okay. Sorry.
I've got it. Now, when that's done, and you're quite happy with it, you have to be maybe a wee bit more brutal where the Mod Podges ran over. And I want a little bit more in here. Trying not to get it on the clock hands. Now, of course, you could take the clock hands off, but that would make life way too much easy. Now, once I've got that, I'm going to get my crackle stamp This is the IOD stamp. It's from Vintage Textures.
It always amazes me how you know exactly where every stamp came from, what set it was in.
Well, I just, oh, gonna have to lean a bit harder. I just know. It's still maybe a bit wet for this, actually. Should have maybe waited till it dried, but you know what? I just, it's the way I'm rolling. You don't want too much crackle on it, and obviously these bits around here you're not really going to see through the glass, so you really want to concentrate more. Well, I'm going to have to concentrate more on my face of my clock. There, I think that's enough of that. And instantly that's going to make my clock a little bit better. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a white and black Posca pen and make this rim round here black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, because it's a nod to what's happening on the clock. Well, burgundy, blue all the way around. So I'll go away and do that. I'm just going to get a tiny little artist brush and I'll just show you what this is going to look like. I'll do one square. I need a bit of water on my brush, sorry. Try that again. Put too much water on it that time. I am going to go around this doing blue, white, blue, red, sorry. If you do feel you've got too much water on your brush, and because when I pick this up it's going to run, so keep dipping in it, dip from it. So that's going to be like, and I'm going to put blue in between it, just because it's got quite a good nod to the front. Okay, so I'll get to this. I'm going to keep matting here because I'm going to do the next part in a minute, and I'm going to stand up to do the blending on the face. Okay. Okay, so I've decided now that the face is in, that instead of blending up at the face, I'm just going to do it yellow. So I'm just giving it didn't get its second coat, so it's just having that now. I think I might do this rim in here black, and then I'm going to be, once I've done this, I'm going to be putting my words on here, and then doing a bit of gold leafing. Oh, I could do in here gold. Yeah, I'll do in there gold instead. Anyway, see what, yeah, I know. But I'm just going to do this just now, and I'll be back again in a minute. Okay, now I'm wanting to put ooh la la on here. So, but before I do that, I want to get a very, very, very fine grit sandpaper. Incredibly fine. What is this? Let me look. 3000. If you don't have this, you can use a bit of brown paper. It'll do just the same. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to age up some of my tiny little wrinkles. And just to give it a wee bit more sort of aged, worn look. You can skip this stage if you don't want to have it. I think it will add something for me, so I'm doing it. Right, okay. Just going to go along that seam as well. Lovely. Quite happy with that. Now, ooh la la words. Now, I went for something really not with the keeping of the piece particularly, but I thought that this is what I want to do. So if you don't like typography, and you don't need to message me to say you didn't like the font or what have you, I'm quite secure with my font choice. So I'm going to do ooh. And if you've got to do something like this, you don't have to put, oh, hang on, I need a bit more glue in it. Oh, you don't have to put font on it at all if you don't want to, if that's your jam. If you think I'm not going to bother, start that again. There we go. That's my O. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting tired. It's been quite a long day, but I'm hoping to just, there's not much left to do on this, so I'm digging deep. I'm trying to Ooh. And my other O is slightly smaller. I just got lots of kind of wonky fonts. I tell you what I was thinking of, you know, like the Toulouse-Lautrec posters with the kind of bubble font. I was kind of thinking something like that when I did this, because I thought, just get my H done. And we're getting closer and closer and closer. My H here. Oh, let's see if it's not attached. Yeah. There's a little bubbly part there. I think it might be on the surface of the furniture. Right, and now la la. Right. And I didn't really think too much. Well, actually, that's not true. I did think about where I wanted the words quite a lot during the night, but I'm not really kind of being too measury. There's a shocker, eh? Yeah. I cut them. These have already been cut out once, but they were too big. Oh, hang on. There's a bubble in that. I'm not wanting to saturate them with glue, but I think maybe I'm going to have to. I want to say I'll glue these on myself, but I want you to see it all. Let me just keep that under there. Get rid of. Right. There's no escaping it because Martin's so close.
Okay.
No, you don't have to. I love you close to me. What a delight. Hey, amo. Right. My other L. And my last letter, didn't really want that going over her foot, but never mind. That's where it's going. Right, there we go. Now, happy days. Last thing I've got to do, and I have already been very good, and put my gold leaf size on. I'm just going to point out where I have got the gold leaf size. So I've got it on this rim. Yeah?
Yep.
This rim.
Yep.
This rim.
Yep.
Around this door surround. Up there, round the clock face, and up the top. So, with gold leaf, you apply your gold leaf size. If you're new to gold leaf, it's just like a glue, and I use this make here, Vasiba, water-based gilding adhesive. Gold leaf paint. Gold leaf doesn't stick with any other glue apart from the adhesive, really. I mean, you can try, but this is what you need to use. So you just literally just apply your gold. I mean, this isn't rocket science. You apply it on it wherever you stick the glue is wherever the gold leaf's going to stick. So you just, what's going down here now? I just want to do a little bit on camera. You don't want to see me doing all of this. If Katja was doing it, it would be beautiful right now. But, well, this is it. I try to use the wee pieces as a go, because then you're not wasting gold leaf, because it's, it all mounts up. There. All right. I'm just going to get I think I'll just one last piece on here so that I can brush this off so you can see it, and then I'll get on and I'll gold leaf the rest. And then I think you can probably see, but Matt's put me a wee handle on it. I got rid of obviously the blue tacked one. I wasn't going to go out for anything too ostentatious because I think the piece itself says enough without going daft. I didn't put gold leaf wearer dresses and here obviously either, right? So once you've got it this far, I'll just get off my knees, right? And you need a nice soft brush. I think I'm going to use this one. And then what you do is you just burnish it in. Now, I didn't apply it solidly. I sort of applied it with some areas missing so that I could have a sort of distressed look. But, you know, each to their own. You do you, whatever you want. But this is how it's going to look. So I'm giving you a rough idea of how it's going to look when it's been all golded up. Golded up?
That'll do.
That's brilliant grammar, isn't it? Yeah. Golded up. Right, okay, so everybody happy with that? Oh well, I suppose I'm not in a live. You don't need to be happy with it. It just is the way it is, I'm afraid. Right, okay, so I'm going to gold it up, and the next time you see me, we will be doing the big reveal. The big reveal. Now, I will be doing the same as I've been doing with all my furniture recently because it's winter. I will not be sealing it because the temperatures out here are wrong for sealing. However, what I will be saying is when there is time to do this, I might actually take it into the hall because I want to clear wax and dark wax this piece. So I might not, but it is going to be dark wax. I'm just thinking of, but I don't want to bring it out into temperatures again. So take it from red when you see it. You won't see it in the reveal, but when I'm digging a bigger hole for myself. I don't know. I'd like to see it with some dark wax on it, I'm thinking. So I'm wondering, but it's been an awful long day. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just leave it at this and call it quits. Right, I'm going to go and put the gold on. Okay, so when I put on my gold leaf, I put it on so that it looked distressed. And like some of it had rubbed off. But what I'm now getting is some dark wax. Now, I've cleared wax this piece, remember. I say this every single video, but remember you need to clear wax if you want to use dark wax because dark wax isn't very forgiving. So, and all I'm doing now is, and I've done the same down here on these edges here, is I'm just taking it in and then just rubbing it in just to kind of age off my panels, just down the edges. That's all I'm doing. Sorry, Matt, I jumped down there. I was really wanting to be up here. So anywhere where I've kind of got, if you feel your gold leaf is just too racy and you want to tone it down a bit, you can put dark wax on that. I'll probably do something like just a little bit just round here. I don't want to darken up this panel too much. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, just to give it a little bit of depth. That's the only reason I'm doing that, is just to give it a little bit of depth. No other reason. Just a little bit like that. But I'm just kind of like adding wax where I think I would like it. And I'm just going to go across the whole piece. And I'm going to dark wax it now. But that's what I'm going to do. Bring up some of here. And as I say, I've been quite generous with my clear wax. And in a minute, we're going to do the last minute sort of the end of the video, because I'm then going to have to move this piece very quickly into my house so that it's not out here in the cold temperatures. I just wanted you to see it with a little bit of dark wax on it, because I really do think when you, especially if you put gold leaf on to make it look like it's worn and aged, I always think dark wax kind of goes hand in hand with it. Okay, so what did we do? Right, Well, first of all, apologies for the piece of footage that you missed, but I think all in all, it could have been much worse. It was just the stenciling, and you saw, I talked you through that. Well, it was plain white clock. We put some mustard on it for our sort of canvas coat. Then we did a bit of blending. Then we did a bit of stenciling. Obviously, we've put our decoupage paper on, a fussy cut. So this was put on and blended. The lady was put on and blended, and the flowers down the bottom were fussy cut. The ooh la la words were fussy cut, and the flowers on the side were fussy cut. And then I did all the little details like the checks and the stripes, did all that, did some gold leaf, and I have clear waxed it and dark waxed it to give it a bit of depth. And that's it. It's done. Was this tricky? No, it's not. It's just a series of steps. So you just need to know what your steps are. And if you've got something like this and it's got all different detail here, I always think sometimes these things lend itself to sort of that whimsical sort of look about it if it's got things like that, because you've got borders to do like your detail work on. So that kind of works nicely. That's really it for today. Martin, do you like this?
I love this. We're keeping it.
Martin wants to keep this.
We are keeping it.
I don't really have room, but he likes it.
Yeah.
So, and he's very enthusiastic about it. So I thought, oh, well, remember he wanted to keep the cupboard with the eye, and I said there was no room for it in the house, so I'm letting him have this. So we've been Martin and Lel. If you've enjoyed this video, give us a like, give us a share, give us a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. And the lovely Martin and I will see you next Sunday. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.